everybody, and thank you for joining me, Krista, with Imagine That Scrapbooks and Gifts for IT TV Presents Try It Out Thursdays, week number 28. Now I'm standing in front of our infamous Tim Holtz wall. Of course, this is just one section of it, so make sure you come in store to check it all out. But this week, what we're going to be doing on our video is working with some of Tim's alterations, the Bigz dies, which are made by Sizzix. So we're going to have a lot of fun doing those, and we're going to be working with his Fanciful Flight die to make this card right here. But before we get started on making the card, I do need to pick a winner from last week's IT TV Presents, and our winner from week number 27 is Miss Jeannie Tipton. If you'll please email us at imaginethatscrapbooks@yahoo.com, we'll make sure we get your prize out to you. All right, let's go have some fun. Hey everybody, for today's card we're going to be working with one of my favorite tools, the Tim Holtz Vagabond by Sizzix. It is a manual die cut machine, meaning you do have to have dies in order to work the machine, but it is also an electronic machine, meaning it has a motor in it which allows you to do your die cutting. Now the Vagabond is very Tim Holtz inspired, meaning it looks like a vintage suitcase. Sorry, I have mine plugged in. But all it does is just pops open the doors right here, and now you have your die cutting machine. This machine is a little bit different. I know I've showed some other tools on here because this one can actually take the steel roll dies like this one here. It can take your thin metal dies as well. The difference is this one does have a little bit smaller of an opening compared to some of the others that I've showed you, but we're going to show you what you can do with this one. The great thing about this machine is it can cut through all sorts of different materials. If you're using the steel roll die like this one, it can cut through all weights of paper, chipboard, grunge board, acrylic, all sorts of things. Now if you're cutting with those thin dies like I've shown, for example spellbinders, it can still really only cut through paper because of the thickness of the die. So we're going to be using this one. This one is called the Fanciful Flight, and it's a really neat die because you can use it an assortment of different ways. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do. In this one, we're going to just need our two cut plates here. You can see that mine have been cut into pretty decently. That's okay. This one's even warping a little. I'll show you what we do on that. You just flip it around, stick it on the bottom, whatever. So the other really neat thing about this one is that you can cut multiple pieces of paper at once. So I am actually going to be cutting this butterfly out numerous times. So we're going to put down 4 pieces of paper. We're going to put it right on to our die cut. We're going to make our sandwich, which is just the 2 plates in between. Now the Vagabond, because it is electronic, it has a directional button right here. If it's pointed this direction, that means it rolls out this way. So since I have it loaded onto this side, I need it to come out over here. So I'm just going to place it and help it feed. And have my dies come out on the other end. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way. The other really neat thing about the Vagabond, even though it is electronic, it does have a little storage container right here to put your cord, so you never have to worry about where you left the cord. So I'm just going to move that out of the way. I'm going to show you this die here and what's really neat about it. So Tim's dies, he does all of his all on one die for that same piece, but they're cut in different areas of the die. And I've had a lot of people ask why they do that, why it's so spread out. It's so you can cut multiple pieces at once and use different colors of paper. Sorry, let me get all these pieces out of the way. So for example, if I wanted to cut this wing over here, which is the solid piece here, or I wanted to cut the outer edge here, I can cut different pieces of paper and stagger them on here. I don't have to use the same piece of paper. I did it for the video just to make it a little bit simpler, but because I'm going to be needing multiple pieces of each one to make this. So I could have a black over here and have my 2 blacks to make my 2 wings. Then I could have a purple over here and cut 2 of these, and then the body and then the lower wings here. So now that I've got all my pieces cut, I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So we're going to pop out all of these little pieces, and actually I don't need that one, so I'm just going to set that off to the side. And I am going to build my little butterfly using the pattern paper in the background and the solid kind of more solid pattern brown on the front. So we're going to move all this out of the way, and I'm going to take my Zig 2-way glue. Now this is a really neat glue because it is in a pin form. We're going to get it started. We're really just going to kind of brush all over and push down as we go the wing. Okay. We're going to line it up and push down and let it dry. Alright, so we don't have to wait for dry time on all of these. I do have one already assembled, and we're just going to bring that over here. So here is where I've assembled all of the pieces. So I have 2 wings that look like this, 2 here, and 1 here. Now, the really neat thing about this particular die is that I can make it a butterfly, flying like so. I can make it, sorry, I have to remember which way the wings go, a dragonfly, here and here, and then you can add the other wings underneath here. I can make it a sideways butterfly. There's all sorts of different things that you can do because Tim's dies are separate to allow you to have this play. So let's start building our card. I'm using this really pretty fall line by Bo Bunny. We're just going to start putting it together. And this is one of Tim's big dies, so we're going to use that as our coupon code, Tim's Bigz die. So make sure you plug that in online or in store to save on those dies. And let's do some twine around the edges. I'm going to take this piece here. Remember, I do the fake wrap. I don't go all the way around, so I'm going to cut me couple pieces of this. Okay. Put some zots on the end. I love using die cuts. They're a great way to add just a fun element to your page or your card, as well as a personalized embellishment, because you can buy embellishments, which are great, but how neat is this that we were able to make our embellishment to perfectly match our card. I guess our butterfly is more of our focal point than embellishment. Oops, almost glued the body to the back of the card. Stick a little bit more glue back there to hold that twine. Okay. So we're just going to place this across the card here. Twine pieces. I'm going to stick a little zot under the corners here just to give it a little bit stronger of a bond. I do a lot of times use just the runner to get it down, and then I'll use the zots to finish positioning it. Okay. Now let's see here. We are going to actually make this a butterfly. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of the wings. We're going to place this over here. And since I accidentally almost glued the body of him to the back, we've got some adhesive on him already. Alright, so then I made a little bow out of my twine, and we're going to adhere that. Right there. And there we go. a fun, quick card using the Tim Holtz Fanciful Flight. Alright, well, we'll see you next week.